Okay, we have the dashboard ready. The next step for us would be to create the employee section. So in the employee section, we will have a table and a sidebar. In the sidebar, we can set up the details like add new employees, update the details, and view the details. All those options we can specify inside that particular section. So we'll see how we can create that. Let's get back to our code here. And what we're going to do is I'm going to save this page as employees hyphen list. Okay, and we need to connect this page now. So let's get to our dash, and inside the dash you can see that we have a navigation bar, and this is the employees. I'm going to connect this to employees list. The same thing we need to do this in our card. So this is the first one which we have employees. I'm going to connect this over here. Let's call this as employees list. Okay, and let's get to our employees list over here, and in the navigation bar we need to add the same thing. I'm going to change this to employees list. Okay, so we have that one, and basically we'll not be using this, so I'm going to get rid of this one. Okay, so we'll keep the row, but we don't need the other items. So I don't need these two cards over here, so I'm going to get rid of these two items here. Wait, let's save this. Let's get to our browser and let's hit refresh. Okay, I click on employees and we'll have a blank page over here. So I'm going to change the title. I'm going to call this as employees list. Okay, let's get back. It's refresh. Okay, so we have changed the title. Now what we need to do is we need to create a sidebar on the left, and then we need a table on the middle section of the entire dashboard. So let's create the sidebar first. So what we're going to do is we're going to get back to our row over here, and I'm going to create a div dot call lg3 dot call md3. Okay, and inside this I'm going to say div dot list group, and inside this I'm going to create another div dot list group item, and let's call this as active. Okay, so I'm going to call this as employee data. Okay, save that and create an anchor tag now, and this one is going to be with the class called list group item, and I'm going to call this as add employee, and the next one I'm just going to copy this one and paste it over here. I'm going to call this as weave all employees. Okay, save this. Let's get to the browser. Let's hit refresh. Okay, so we have a very small version of the sidebar here. I think we have given a too much spacing, so let me decrease that. I'm going to set this to MT3. Save this. Refresh. Okay, I think that one looks much better now. So I think we can do the same thing for the dash too. Let's get to our dash and we'll change this one to MT3. Save that. Let's hit refresh. Okay, that looks much better. So if I click on view all employees, so we have these items. I'm going to click on add employee, and we will have a pop-up window. Maybe we'll see what we can do with that one. And here in the employees list I need a table now, so let's get to this one. And in our employees list page, after the call here, you're going to add another div dot call lg. So we already used 3, so we are left with 9 dot call md9. Okay, and inside this I'm going to call a table dot table, and inside this will say tr, the th, I'm going to add a table heading. I'm going to call this as an id, and then we will have a name, then we will have an email id, then we will have a phone number. Actually I don't think we need to add a phone number, so instead I'm going to give details and edit, and then finally we'll give it as delete. Let's get to the browser. Let's hit refresh. Okay, so we have this table. Now we need to color the table here, so we don't have anything for this one. So let's see how we can add some colors. I'm going to go to tables, and inside the tables we can actually scroll down a little bit. Okay, so we have this table striped. I think I can use this. Let's try that. Okay, I'm gonna add that to our table here. Save this and hit refresh. Okay, so we have a color, but basically not the one which I'm looking for. So we have table hover. I need this one. Let's copy this, paste it over here. Okay, so I'm going to change the background to some black color. So I'm going to give it class and call this as BG secondary. I'm not sure how that looks, so let's hit refresh. Okay, so that does come with this one, but the text is completely black. So let me see what else do we have, other options. And okay, what else can we do? Oh yeah, we can give table dark. So in that way can apply that. Let's see if we can apply to this. I will change this one to table dark here. Let's hit refresh. Okay, so we have a black color row, and inside that we can add all the other items. So I'm going to add another tr here. I'm going to call this as td, and we're going to specify this as 1, and we'll have John Doe as name, and the email ID is going to be johndoe@gmail.com. Okay, and we need a button, so I'm going to say an anchor tag with an hash, so class btn. It's a detail, so I'm going to add a info button, and we'll call this as details. Save that, hit refresh. Okay, so we have this details here, but everything is this color, so I'm going to change this color for now. So what we're going to do is we are going to add a new class. I'm going to call this as bg white, and I'm going to copy this one. Actually, let's try this bg light. If I refresh, oh right, so we can simply add bg light and we will have the background color as white. Okay, so we need to make the button small, and so for that we're going to say btn xs. That's going to make the button look much smaller. Okay, it did not work. btn sm, refresh. Okay, so sm worked. Okay, we need a full width, so what we can do is we can call this as btn block. Save that, refresh. Okay, that's in full width, that looks good. And let me add some more, so I'm going to call this as edit. That's going to be warning, and this is going to be edit. Let me add another one, that's going to be danger, and it's going to be delete. Let's save that, hit refresh. Okay, so we have these details. So I'm just going to duplicate this. Let's copy this one, paste it, paste it, paste it. Okay, so these are going to be the list of employee details which you can view.